Public assemblies is an excellent idea because essentially what you're doing, and again, our position as it relates to government is that government should be as small as it possibly can be, right? To serve the function that's required for government, the core functions that's required, right, for the betterment of the country. And the primary role of government is to facilitate.
Right.
Now, citizens' assemblies is an excellent idea because you have an issue. You get people from the community involved. The first thing you do, you get people who are already connected to the issue in some way, either as professionals or through their education or as volunteers or whatever. You get people who are qualified or have experience, right, or have relationships. You put them you empower them and put them in a position where they can go out into the community, do research, talk to people, right, explore options, collaborate, find solutions, make recommendations that could be then put in front of the broader community, right, to be accepted, ratified, put into legislation or whatever, and then we move forward.
Yep.
And then you have another issue, so you have other people do that. Now, look how much money we would save from that. Few things you mentioned, right? These people are not full-time. The second thing you mentioned is that they're not necessarily paid a lot. So this is not like a high-paid consultant scenario where all of a sudden, because you're my friend, Corey, now you have this position where you do minimal work, right? And you got this big paycheck coming in. You see what I mean? Right? It's a situation where, right, everything is done equitably and it's fair and it's transparent and people know about it because there's no hidden agendas, right? Everybody's clear what the objectives are. People go and do it and boom. So citizens' assemblies comes in alignment with what we're looking to do in terms of like smaller government, which is a process because we have huge government right now, right? And we have huge debt right now. And we have all these expenses and all the government departments are fighting for money and most of the money goes to salaries, right? And then there's no money left for programs. So when government departments enter into the private sector, now they're asking people in the private sector who actually have to earn their keep to give them discounts and things of that nature, so they're able to do more than they really have the money to pay for. So we're looking to shift that narrative. And now we're looking to empower people in the community, to be able to do. And we want more people in the private sector because businesses are what actually make money. Governments don't make money. Governments redistribute money that's made in the private sector. So if we're going to increase the size of the pie, we need a bigger private sector. We also need to empower people so people are thinking more about building enterprise. People are thinking more about entrepreneurship, So we need to open up. So that's what I'm saying. Like all these things are interconnected. Just like race, every conversation is going to bring up race. Every conversation, education is going to come into play. You know what I mean? All these things are going to come into play, like because they're relevant to everything that we do in life. So citizens' assemblies, by all means, and also, and then even when you think about, you mentioned like BEST, Green Rock, you think about the Audubon Society, you think about, we have a youth council in Green Rock now. It's a lot of, you have KBB, right? These organizations are formed, and many times they have like an antagonistic relationship with governments because you're pushing for something. You're trying to get the government to do something or to see something that they're not seeing or to address something that's not being addressed, Those relationships can all be shifted into more collaborative relationships. Amen. So all of a sudden now we're looking at, okay, let's see what skill sets are in BEST and how can we leverage those skill sets to serve the interests of the country? How can we leverage these skill sets in Green Rock? How can we leverage these skill sets in KBB? And then how can we empower those organizations to grow and to be able to sustain themselves, to be able to continue to provide that service or expertise to the community for years to come.